here with Kurt Scheller, daughter Kelly,
Hello.
helping out. She's the guinea pig for things.
Hey.
Doing the Happy Memorial Day weekend. Always date. This Memorial Day weekend. Thank you to our veterans, U.S. and
you're a veteran. Memorial Day with us.
Yep. And I'll be. Well, let's see if I'm.
Thank you on Veterans Day.
That's right. So this workshop will be a series of workshops. Navigate the thing. You bought the whole thing. So this is about technique. Down here, somebody let us know. Audio. Technique is, what is technique? Technique is the physical control and coordination needed to play an instrument or sing, while position, efficiency of motion and effort, as well as exercise to develop specific skills. Specific. One's a notion, right? So, cool. Studio mode. Here we go. Technique. So here we go. So about left-hand technique. Right-hand technique for what we're going to do here is I would just use the thumb. We'll be plucking single notes mostly. We're just left hand aim to go where you not work. Lots of different. Our left hand pluck it. Mainly your thumb because it's a single note technique. Use your index finger, but I would go to thumb, or even if you want to pick. If you're younger, but I would just go. That's real. Now, fingers. Let's take two. We'll focus on the left hand. First thing to watch out with our left. First, I'd like to do take your fingers and put it behind the fret. Handle on the fret, and your thumb should go in back behind the neck. Take a number 2 pencil on your fingertips. Now I switched it to use a carpenter's. Lay it flat on a flat surface. Thumb and fingers on that flat surface. Okay. Little miniature ukulele neck. Actually, it'd be a good exercise. Use your key will be with the ukulele when I grab it. Fingertips, they play the note. They will stay pointing to the string. We're looking to get an efficiency of motion. Yep, use your own. Any finger you want, Jim, as long as it's yours. We'll play right behind the frets. And we talked about the thumb rolls. Thumb's role is to support the. Let's take finger 1, put it on 1, right behind the fret. The way to do that is take finger 1 and just put it up and down. Notice your other finger we're going with. Thumb also moves. Now start again so slowly, and as soon as you feel the fret stop, pluck that note. And if you're not pressing, you'll get I call it the duck, quack, quack. And slowly press, you'll get a buzz. Press a little more, you get a good. That's where you want to play the notes. Okay. So just keep things in mind. There'll be a link in the description of lesson. Right hand strums, picks, we're going to notes. So our left hand fingering, it comes from the piano. Every digit X, over to alone, and middle finger for 2. 3, ring finger 1,
So if it's cut out at home.
teach myself. Popped up. Very felt the word. So if you're going to mock something up, make sure you. So our left hand again. So that's responsible for getting the music in. Left hand for string moving. Right? So now, the thing we're going to do is based off of fingering principles in this book I wrote called The Secrets of Ukulele, adopted from Chuck Anderson. Covers the motion principle navigation. First principle, basic. 4 fingers so we can cover it. So, we'll take care of fret 1. We have 4 fingers, so we can actually do 1 fingered there on the string. What ukulele you use, it is a good idea. Right? So, for 1, now you want to also, other things, sometimes I'll have them out of the way. You do want to keep those fingers ever so. So we'll show you how close you want plugged into the internet. To know about the audio, we're not off. Up the audio a little bit, right?
Now. Over. Watch.
So, saying keep them ever so close, just enough to get out. First, do the sound. Okay. Steps. By the sound. Sure. Best sound. Oh, hello. Start on string 1. Take finger 1. Start with each. Okay, 1. Always the So now, back to the goal is to stay right behind. You do want to pluck the notes. So you are also when you're doing this, you are working a little bit on right technique. Get good notes. You do these while you watch TV. This is perfect TV practice. It annoys everybody in the room. Doing the commercials. You would get probably like so that's one finger. Now put anywhere you want. Different frets. But 4 frets. Hearing anything? Yes, there it is. On.
Out of when I said I don't hear anything, but I never hit play on YouTube.
The one thing I would advocate to rush through these. Sometimes you have to go back and revisit. Keep an eye on the fingers. I don't want to do that. Nada on the finger. Two finger. 2 fingers there. Room. So now.
Hear it twice.
Maybe.
More.
I'm teaching. Several reasons. One is start with start on string 4. They might next string play that next. Starting on string 1 work automatically good picking. 1 4 each string. Ladder, like going up and down on a ladder. Think about it. Looks like really good at 1. In and out.
Turn the off.
So if anybody has audio issues, 1 4, I got really good at move in. Now go to string 2. So that's a separate technique. And now it's like an aerobic step class. And all 4 strings. Keeping the fingers really close. Want to get the shaky cam again? Technology. Love
Trying something
technology.
new.
I'll get real close. I'm trying to ensure that I don't move away from the fret. So my thumb doesn't move. Make sure I don't chicken wing it. Nothing should be moving. Music is from here out. Here doesn't do it. Shouldn't be moving. Shouldn't be doing. So I start with 1 4. Now, if you're getting pretty good at it, switch to maybe. Automatically make you twice as fast. Through?
In and out.
Yeah, we'll get some better mics down the road. Sure. So there's 12. This is the last. TJ run. Go. Monitor. So back to the two fingers. I just did 1 and 4. 12 combinations. All. Now, another tip. If the next note is higher and no need to lift your finger, not lift it, move to the next string. Then 1, 2, do 1, 3. Do the same exercise in both. Don't do this. I'll do 1, 4. This is not 1, 4 anymore. Different one. D, 4, 1 is a different exercise. Do the same one, descending, ascending. What's that? All these no. Oh, real close. I'm actually descending from 1 to 4, from 4 to 1. And you don't have to repeat the end. Turn back right away. Stop and I repeat it. But if I turn back right away, I will not repeat. Again, to keep go natural. If I'm playing 1 and 4, super close. 1, 2, 1, 3, 1, 4, 2, 3, 4, 3, 4, 2, 1, 3, 1, 4, 1. Now things to watch. I 3 and then 1. 2 fingers. Really listening. Adults, they were thinking they're playing finger 1 when they didn't. So you really have to listen to it. Listen. Lift up. Don't lift enough.
A little bit.
It don't have to be like this. Just enough to get out of the way. One string and just over and over. You can't do these two like an athlete, high jumper. Don't have no limit to it. They will just physical limit. Always try to go. So it's not like music. Because boredom sets in. We feel. You have to have a lot of patience. Just change the rhythm. Get the full combination. 1, 3, 2, 3, 1, 2. Some things I found. I've done 4, 2, 4, 2, 4. Fingers might 2, 4, 3, 4, 2. Get the numbers. 1, 2, 1, 2, 2, and I did 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. You even skip strings. Lots of variations. 12 combinations. 3 fingers. 4 combinations. 1, 2, 3. Big peg. Pick again. Patience. Now it should get louder, louder.
Okay.
Darn, there's so many things to go over.
Rewind.
All right, there you go. Let's take everything.
It's like a million different spots to check everything.
Yeah, we'll get better. We're moving. This is also the work computer where I do all the artwork and the websites and everything. So there's a lot of purposes.
He's turned it into a laptop, even though it's like a
carry it upstairs.
20-inch.
It's not so portable.
How big is it? 27-inch computer.
So
no, it's really loud. Hold on.
Right, turn it down.
There we go.
Is that better? Right.
Yeah, that should be better.
Woo!
Super. Helen
Right.
said super. Thank you, Helen.
So 1, 2, 4. 1, 2, 4. 1, 2, 4. Now, as far as how many of these you should be doing, sometimes we don't get to 4-note ones or even all of them. It takes like a couple months sometimes. Depends on the student. And your students now at this point are your fingers. I call them the idiot cousins of the musical world as far as playing the instrument. They cannot see or hear things, so they have to.
Oh my goodness.
All right, so the key, the next note higher, here's where the fingers will start to pop off. But you don't want to do that. Just 1, 2, 3. It's really hard to show in this ukulele, but if you look at your own ukulele and you press a string down, take finger 1 and press string 4 down at fret 3. First look at it and notice how far away the string is from the frets. Press it down. Now even up the neck the string is a lot closer. So if you release that note to press the next note, you're going to have to press it down. It's already really close, so just next note's higher. Keep the current finger down until it's time to move it to the next string. Now I would also do these without plucking them. Because no matter what you think or doing, as soon as you involve the other hand, focus internally, subconsciously is split. You don't want nothing to change in the left hand when you incorporate the right hand. The good goal is when you're doing these, and you can talk and deliver a workshop as you're doing it. It gets confusing. I messed up a couple in there. Didn't quite turn out the way I planned. So there's 24 3-finger combinations. Some students, advanced students and adults, sometimes will get all 24 in 1 week. They're the ones that are practicing every day for an hour or so. Right? Younger students, they might get, depends on the age. If they're really young, they might get 3 or 4 of these.
And they hate those. They think these
Most
are
people
torture.
hate these. Yes, yes. These are not what draws you to the instrument. You don't go to your local ukulele store.
But it keeps you within it because it gets you over those hurdles of those
I had one student
struggles.
who's a high school guitar player, and he did these. He did these every week. And I asked him once, I said, boy, most of my students, they don't really like doing these. You seem to really do them. He said, yeah, I couldn't do anything else. These were the only things I could do. So I just did a lot of them. He
What was
wanted
that?
I forget, it was a long time ago.
Oh.
Yeah, he did a lot, but he got really good too, because this is the physical limits of how well you can play the instrument. Now, this is mathematically, there's got to be a name for this, but this always confused me initially. 4 fingers. There's 24. It's the same number. Like, geez, shouldn't there be more? But no, I guess not. There's some math rule in there. A mathematician would know the name of it, and they could send me the name.
Wait, hold on. Last night, Travis and I spent like 20 minutes trying to figure out this joke. Okay, so there's how many legs are under the table?
Oh,
and you got
how many people were sitting at the table?
Wait, you got a grandfather, a grandfather, 2 fathers, 2 sons, and a grandson.
Yeah. How many people?
A grandfather.
Yep.
2 fathers, 2 sons, and 1 grandson.
Is the grandfather, was he ever a pirate?
We didn't think of that. We were like, maybe the grandfather is one of the fathers, and one of the fathers is one of the sons. So really, it's only 3 people sitting at the table. But then the person that put up the joke, she didn't count in the legs of the chair, saying they aren't underneath the table. So
Jeez,
anyway, that was we were frustrated. Right? Yeah.
So here, this 4-fingered combination is really just adding the finger you did not do with the 3 fingers. There's some mathematical phenomenon that this works this way. So just pick one, 1, 2, 4, 3, 1. 1, 2, 4, 3. Now you can, what we're doing here again, this is a basic fingering. If you have this book, if you're one of my students and you've downloaded this book, you can get it for free as a gold member on my website. When I first went to Chuck Anderson to study, and I studied jazz guitar, I, as a blues rock guy, I could do something like this. blues scale. And I can maybe do this. That was the extent of my moves. And one of my goals, he asked me, what are you doing here? What do you want to do? So I said, I'm going to be able to like use the whole darn. I'm going to fly up and down the neck like these peoples I see. And these fingering principles, they allow you to do that. They're not a fingering system, they're motion principles. And we're doing basic. We're doing basic right now. 4 fingers, 4 frets. In fact, the next workshops will be how do we move this 4 frets. In fact, if you just take your 4 fret span now and you move it to somewhere else on the neck, you used one of the fingering principles. You probably slid up here if you end up on the same fingers. All right, so 4 fingers. Now, things you can do to get rid of some of the boredom is move them elsewhere. Because there's slightly different things come into play as you go up the neck. Yeah. In fact, up the neck here, there's no way you can't but not play.
No way you can't but not.
Yeah, double negative, right? You like that, huh? We had a friend in the family that always would do that. You're just guaranteed to play behind the fret when you get up to like frets 10, 11, 12. Even fret 9, you're pretty much behind the fret if you have big fingers. Up here, though, you couldn't be too far from the fret. Right? There's several things that you could do when a teacher. I should have the run for the hills. The lines that you hear from somebody that wants to teach you. If you hear these lines, what they say is run for the hills. One of they say, just put your fingers between the frets. Run for the hills. No. There's some other ones too. Another one is use any finger you want. And they're all different. So just these different 4 finger combinations, you can vary the rhythm. Swing it. Now here's a real mind bender that I would do is I would take these 4 notes, they'll automatically feel like some subdivision of a quarter note or 8th note. 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1. And now if you do them as a triplet, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1. Messed it up. An accent 1. To me, it's like some sort of mind thing.
Did you talk about what you're plucking on your right hand there?
I'm just using my thumb and my index finger. Yep, we did discuss that.
Okay. I
This we just use your thumb.
Maybe they didn't hear that part when the volume was low.
Well, you can mix them up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 1, 1, 2. Right? Right? There's a lot there. A lot there. All right?
Glenn, our assistant production manager from Virginia,
Yes.
says we could do a checklist of checking audio and everything before we.
Yeah. The problem is you
But
gotta make sure you use the list too.
Yeah, we need, but I have it printed, so
Yeah.
remember. And then I said, that's
It's
funny
our
coming from
computer.
the pilot.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. At least there's it's like a flight check
Yeah,
before.
thank God.
I
God, we're
worked.
not flying a plane.
Yeah, I worked for a pilot. He was worked for a carpet cleaner guy, and he was an old World War II pilot. He had this tri-pacer plane. Had no like gyroscope or nothing like that. Had the dashboard. He would take us up, and that's how you would see if you were level or not, and how fast you were going. You just had to look down at the cars going faster than you on the highway.
Oh my God.
So you knew you were only doing 40, 50, 60 miles an hour. But he would always pre-flight the plane.
Yeah, all pilots, yeah.
He had a Coke bottle behind the seat that he would take and make sure there's no water in the fuel and all these other things, you know.
Is that a good technique?
That's the way you did it. You had to make sure there was no water settled into the fuel because it would probably show its ugly head when you go to take off or land.
Ooh. And that didn't make you nervous going up in a plane? He pulls out a Coke can
no,
to check
he did all that stuff. If he didn't, you know, it was like...
Ooh.
I mean, I didn't have the list. So I don't know what he was missed. He was experienced. He was pretty good. He let you fly it when you get in the air.
That's...
Would not let you take off or land, though. That you need training for.
Ooh. Too probably set it on autopilot. And, like,
no, there's no autopilot on this kind
you
of thing.
thought you were.
You can roll the window down, stick your arm out the window.
Gosh.
You didn't go
a hand
fast.
crank?
Yeah, it was an old thing. It was like flying an old 57 Chevy with wings. It was smaller, you know. It was nice. It was fun. But we didn't land or take off. That's why the pilots earn their money. The flying when you're in the air sometimes is pretty easy. It's the takeoff and landing that you're paying for, right? It's funny. Now, some other things you can do. Skip strings. Now, I would not overload it too much and do too many things. Like, you can do different ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4. I'm reading them on the screen, just as you might be. All right. Now, here's another good exercise I do with students, and a lot of these are all available online on my site, is take one finger of the combination. I'm going to take finger 2, and I'm going to move it to the next higher string. So I'm going to do 1, 2, like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. We change the rhythm. Sounds like music now. Instant jazz. Right? Hammer-ons.
Did you ever skip any of those and just do like 2, 1, 4?
You can combine them. Like you could do a 4-fingered with a 2-fingered.
You did 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3.
Yep,
1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3.
Yeah, just mix them up. And I wouldn't advocate unless you wrote them down. Like if I looked and said I'm going to skip each line. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 3, 2, 4, 1, 4, 3, 2. It becomes really hard to keep track of them. So I would not overload it too much. I would just do maybe 2. You know, and have them written out. Like you have a little music book or a notebook and just write out or print out from the downloads.
Just get like index cards and pull out 2 and boom, do those 2.
Yeah, you can do that. Yeah, well, I would keep track of the ones that give you trouble. The dominant fingers are 1 and 2. They can do really dominant work. They're stronger, they're bigger, they do more work in day-to-day life. The ring finger, second longest, but it's not the first knuckle. And here I've been told it's the weakest knuckle.
I injured mine crocheting.
Yeah. Here's what you can do. Here's a good little demo to show you the flexibility and how well fingers do. You can do it with any hand you want. I'll just if you put your fingers in a straight line like this on a flat surface, and you see that you can move your index finger pretty easy, pinky. You know, second finger pretty good. Now try your third finger. It's like it's tough. Now I've been told the second and third finger, like stretching them. If your fingers are straight out, you can separate them pretty easy. Even fingers 2 and 3. Spock, live long and prosper. But if they're curled as you're playing the instrument, you can separate 1 and 2. Stretch. We'll hit them when we do the stretching exercises here. But fingers 2 and 3, you can't really stretch them because they tendons share a sheath in the hand, so they're not that flexible. But notice too, this is silly. Fingers are not the same length, but they are.
They are curled.
Yeah.
Can piano players move your ring finger on the flat thing more?
That's a human thing. It's a Homo sapien thing. That it's like a party trick.
It's even harder when you do it. In elementary school, we used to try it like flat, and it was even harder to. Yeah.
Curl it, yeah. But all your fingers can be developed to a pretty high level, even the wimpy pinky. Now, I've argued with, it's an easy argument to win. Guitar players, you'll mention, why are you using your 4 fingers? Well, this is easier. I just use 3. They'll stretch and stuff. But yeah, but like, how many fingers do you have? 4. That's 100%. Just use 3 of them. What's that? 75%. You're operating at a deficiency.
And you did this on guitar too, right? Like
any stringed instrument. Yeah, any fretted stringed instrument. Now, luckily, the ukulele and guitar, The chromatic scale, which is all 12 notes in music, the A sharp, B, C, C sharp, D, D sharp, E, F sharp, G, G sharp, starts over at A. Those are all 12 notes of the instrument. There's only one place we can play that on the ukulele. Because open string is like a phantom finger, an extra finger that you somewhat can control. So here's I'll do it from C. C, C sharp, D, D sharp, E, F, F sharp, G, G sharp, A, open. So and then use the open string for the chromatic scale. Do it a low G. G, G sharp, A, B, A sharp, B. Now I need C, open. C sharp, D, D sharp, E. Now E can be open or here. So yeah, open strings gives you an extra finger. You can play the chromatic scale anywhere, as long as it's in this open position. So that's not anywhere. So say I come up here to this C, low G, C, C sharp, D, D sharp. Now I need E. It's not available in my 4 frets, so I had to do something to get the E, a stretch here, or move to a different spot on the same string. This is where these fingering principles all come into play. Great, once I get to a position, here's my C blues. If I need a note that's outside of this, how am I going to get to it? Or if I want to play this scale in this position or that position, how am I going to get to it? These are all the fingering principles. And given our own devices, without some training or a scientific background maybe that you would really figure out exactly the best way to do it, you're just going to jump to it, and chances are it's not going to be very efficient. Right? So we actually went back to this.
My hair looks purple today.
And we analyzed the pieces of this technique. Is the physical control and coordination. So what we're doing here is we're taking our fingers and we're working on finger independence and strength. It doesn't take much strength, but the independence is the big thing to play this, right? Now, if you're singing, it would be your vocal cords, right? Everything is involved with that. I mean, I always jokingly say that I can sing perfectly in tune. It's only when I open my mouth that things don't come out right. But that just means vocal training. You can hear it internally, what you want to sing, but it depends on, you know, whether you've done it a lot or have no fear of doing it, you know, or you've been trained. And then you want to be efficient, low maintenance technique. You want to have a fellow I studied with said quiet fingers. You don't want it to look like you're doing a lot. Now this might look a lot better, right? Flying, wow, man, that guy's really working. It's like, you think, this shouldn't be working that much. Because this is the physical aspect. You know, you still have to work on the musical part, the melody, the chords and harmony, and the rhythm, right? Boom, fancy. So efficiency, emotion, and effort. So these are all just exercises to develop the specific physical skills. If I read the word, I got it. Pacific Ocean, specific. There is no specific ocean unless you're talking about the Pacific Ocean. That's a specific ocean. Say that really fast, right?
Yeah, I don't.
Okay, technique.
I think when we opened the store, we all had to practice saying funky frets.
Yeah, if you don't think about saying funky frets, it could come out sort of
inappropriate.
Yeah, inappropriately. You got to be very careful with that. So, all my students out there and gold members, forever members of the learningukulele.com site, and my private students.
The world's most comprehensive
Yeah, you can go
website.
to the world's most comprehensive ukulele site, because in addition to the lessons and songs and my books, play-along tracks, videos, history, I have lots of listings of manufacturers, builders. There's information on everything.
Clubs,
yeah,
festivals.
it's comprehensive. It is the world's most. I don't really say that much, but it is pretty comprehensive.
Glenn's watching. We have to say it.
Yeah,
or we get a text afterwards.
Yeah. Some of the stuff, I was looking at this when we do the next workshop on the jazz chords, quote unquote jazz chords, 4-part chords. I was putting images in of the books that sort of relate to these chords, and there's like 4 or 5 books that I've written. But I've written like 40, 50 books or something. Oh my God, man. That's like pretty prolific. Another word I don't say that well. Prolific. It's a Pennsylvania accent. That's what it is. I blame it on a Pennsylvania accent. So fingering, I'll read the topic from the book. And again, thanks, Chuck, for letting me use this stuff. I studied with him for like 30 years. Sort of can credit all my musical skills to him. Yeah, it's amazing the knowledge he had. Passed it on, and I'm passing it on. Fingering is one of the most universal topics. Whether your style is rock, blues, country, jazz, or classical, these principles will improve your technique, your solos, and even your sight reading. Guaranteed. Yep.
Read that.
I got it.
On the
Yeah.
screen.
Yeah. Right? It's pretty cool stuff. All right. So now, if you think about it, so some of us have taken our.
Wait, I have a question.
Yes,
Anybody
no,
watching?
maybe. Oh, go ahead.
Hold on. Anybody watching? Tell us in the comments if you currently or previously work on your left-hand technique exercises like this.
Nobody has,
I want
right?
to know. Maybe. Let's see.
No, I did it. I was like that one student I had. You know, didn't have the greatest ear for picking up songs on my own and different stuff like that. And back in the day, if you wanted to learn a song, there was no YouTube and tab. You ran to the record store. You heard the song on the radio. You ran to the record store, and you bought the 45 for like 79 cents. And you go home, you put it on it, and you play and listen to it and try to figure it out. And it could take you like days and days and days.
Now you just go.
Yeah, some people figure it out a
Google.
little bit fast. But that was like a musical training. That's something else that you can train yourself to, is to hear that stuff and hear how chords go and work. And it gets a little bit easier.
Did you have to walk to the record store both
A couple
ways in
blocks.
the snow?
Uphill both ways. No, it's good. I still have some of those 45s. And then if you wanted to replay it, you had to strategically put the needle down in the right spot, and it'd usually be like this. You hear something, you know. Right, you go through a lot. Yeah, but that's how you learned. You know, you couldn't slow it down. You could you could take like a 45 and put it on 33, and it would slow down, but it would change the pitch. Mm-hmm. Nowadays, there's software. Like the Amazing Slowdowner is one, and even on YouTube, a lot of people don't realize they used to have it. I don't know if they still do. You can slow your video down all the way down to like 25 or 50%, and with digits. Now, it doesn't change pitch, so it really helps you figure stuff out. Like if you're learning a song from a YouTube, trying to figure it out without the tab's a good reference later on. Is if you actually listen to the whole song, you're actually not really trying to figure it out. You should probably not really get through the whole song. I put off a YouTube video for a student trying to learn a song, and they're like enjoying us. Then I'll turn it off. So they're like, wait, so no, we're not trying to we're not
just play through the whole thing.
Yeah, we're switching from a passive listener enjoying the song to now you're trying to be an active participant. Same thing here. You're trying to learn these songs. Now chords are different. The 4-fret span doesn't apply to most chords. You got to put the same finger in adjacent frets, things like that. But the efficiency of keeping your fingers close, not having them fly off, taking the shortest route from one chord to the next. You know, not like.
You should do a concert like that one night with that.
Now, if you want to know if you're a proficient player now, just flip your instrument over left-handed. And I'm right-handed, but I can't do these.
I want to try. Oh.
So I know how a beginner feels. Has anybody ever heard? You ever hear of these secret shoppers? People that are hired to walk around like department stores and stuff and act like they're a shopper. They're either a detective trying to get people to not steal stuff, or they will be a secret shopper from headquarters to go in and see how the service is and stuff like that. I thought I would like to be a secret ukulele or guitar student and go to
Other teachers?
The other teachers, yeah. Because
man.
I get some students
You'd be like the worst critic, like those like restaurant critics that come in. You're like,
we'd be pretty bad.
oh my gosh, Jean-Pierre,
like,
to try our French cuisine.
Yeah, because you don't know what you're looking for as a student. You go to a teacher's. I was through a couple of them before I landed on
a whole website, like a rating system.
I don't know about that. They got rid of that stuff, you know. Remember that pages, is she hot, not hot, that stuff. People have that for ukulele players. Are they good or are they not good? Right? But I don't
know. I'm kind of sorry, I distracted you.
Yeah, it's hard. You'll find out the hard part actually probably is not going to be the this hand over here could develop. It's going to be the plucking, getting the strings going. Awkward. Yeah, it's funny. Yeah, you know, most people are right-handed, but they're having their left hand do the dominant work, and it builds pretty good. You know, you'll never be able to write your name really good, but this kind of stuff you can do good. But the plucking hand's the hard part. So you can actually know how you feel like a beginner. So if I wanted to be a secret shopper music student, I would have to go in as left-handed.
God, my pinky just shoots out like crazy.
I would be a left-handed student like this. And then when the teacher leaves the room, I'd go like...
Yeah.
He comes back in. He said, where was that coming from? I don't know, man.
YouTube. I played a YouTube.
You must have some ghost in here. There's the other room. Go check it. You know, like. That would be evil, though. But on my website, again, I have a lot of stuff on the website. It's sort of like a digital hoarder kind of place to put musical information. You know, I used it to learn how to program websites and stuff like that. It is a site. What to look for when you're looking for a teacher. If they don't ask you what you are looking for, what your goals are, yeah, it's a red flag. A lot of red flags will show up. And goals will change too. I have students all the time. My goals change. You know, I never started out wanting to play like jazz and stuff, but somehow one teacher said he was going to teach me jazz. I didn't even really totally know what it was, and he was teaching me what he could learn. Melodies and chords, and I was really intrigued by it because I didn't really sing. So wow, I can play the melodies. Nice.
If you want to hear us sing, stop by tomorrow night.
Yes, we're having
we're singing live
campfire
on Facebook and YouTube.
Yep. We're setting up a fire outside. Want to roast some s'mores and sing songs where it does not really matter if you sing them in tune and perfectly. And this is the biggest benefit of the virtual world that we're doing now is, well, you can sing at home and the ukulele play next to you is across the internet somewhere else.
Except you have to sit next to me.
Yeah, no, I sing pretty bad too, but then I have Kelly next to me, so
you feel good.
We both took vocal lessons at some point.
We didn't do it long enough, though. We have to.
Yeah, it's work, you know. Yep. So
I never knew you could learn how to sing. I was thought it was
it's vocal training. It's vocal training. It's a muscle.
Yeah.
Right. It's connecting your ear to the vocal cords instead of connecting the ear to your fingers.
And I mean, you don't use them. You do feel that like strain in your voice.
How many times have you been out and listened to somebody perform, just anybody, and say, "Wow, that was really good." Other times, "Wow, something's not right there." You know, like, "Boy, that singer didn't sound that great." You know, you're pinpointing like technique of the singer or the fact they didn't hold the pitches and stuff. Now recordings nowadays they have pitch correction. You know,
that sounds.
I forget what they call it. They even have it live now. You can buy
auto tune. Like
auto tune, yeah. You can.
For vocals,
There is pedals that you can buy that will auto tune you live.
Can I get that for my uke?
Nope, sorry. You probably could, but nah, these are hard. Ukulele and guitar stuff. This hard instrument.
I'm very distracted today.
That's all right. Killing time. Any questions? Did we get any questions?
Nobody commented that they did left hand technique. This is all good stuff for like any level player, though, beginner to advanced. Yeah. This workshop is good for anyone.
Yeah, because later on you do double stops, 2 at a time. So I take 1, 2, 3, 4. This is later on down the road, but try it now. I'm going to take 2 notes at the same time. 1, 2. I'm going to move the second note to the next string. Pluck those 2 together. It's called a double stop. It's a violin term where they are training themselves to stop 2 strings at the same time. And they have a really curved fingerboard. So double stops. Then I'm going to do 3, 4. I'm going to do that on each set of strings. Now I'm going to switch them. I'm going to do 1, 2, 4, 3. This will help your chords. 1, 3, 2, 4.
Wow. That's...
Do single notes. 1, 3, 4, 2. Sounds messy. If you mess it up, slow it down. I'm looking at the screen. Shouldn't be looking at the screen. Wait, 1, 4, 2, 3.
Can we try shaky
1,
cam
4,
on that?
3,
Can
2.
they see what you're doing?
Skip strings. Doing this kind of stuff, you'll be able to get the E chord. Yeah, shaky cam. Let's see if shaky cam works.
That was hard to...
Shaky cam. We're just using the phone one. 2 cameras. Ready?
Yep.
Wanted to kick it in. Oh, there you go. Look, shaky cam. Ready. So I'm using all the same concepts that apply to single notes, but I'm doing 2 notes at a time. Double stops. Harder one, like 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh, that's the same as the other one. Skip a string. One, 2, just switch strings. Like notice here, watch. Here's 1, 2, 1, 2. I'm just going to switch strings. Don't have to move my first finger. Don't have to move my second finger. And a lot single notes. A lot there. Science fiction, right? 3 notes. As I always said, the video, because it's maybe doing 24 or at the most 60 frames a second. I think we're maybe at 30. It'll appear faster than I actually am. Right, there's shaky cam. Shaky cam. Now another thing, or as I said, don't overload the assignments. Some people do this. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and they move up. 4, 2, 3, 1, 4, 2, 3, 1, 4, 2, 3, 1. But they'll never do, well, you did 1, 2, 3, 4, but you didn't do it descending, ascending. Gravity does have an effect on us. So I'm going up. It's going to be slightly different on the way back. Right? You can do this with the 4-note ones. I had to do this once. Time yourself. How long it takes you to get through all of them.
Whole list?
Yeah, why not? Yeah, I'm not going to do it here, though. But then that's a good gauge, you know, how fast you can go through it. But don't try to go fast.
Don't sacrifice technique to go fast.
Yeah, right. Try to aspire to be like Herb Otta Jr., where his technique is just incredibly clean. Now, some people say, you know, oh, geez, like if you use a metronome or that technique for technique's purpose, sometimes it can sound sterile, but no, that dynamics is the big thing. You do want every note to be clean. In fact, there's nothing. Do it, get louder, get softer. See, I glitch in there, I hit the string. Well, so that reminds me of a story then. I had, this is forever ago now. I did a jazz guitar CD called Midnight at the Jazz Cafe. And I had a solo piece on it, The Shadow of Your Smile. I was always liked that song. Always admired the Johnny Smith guitar player version of it. So it was solo. So we wanted to record it, and you really wanted to do it in one take. I was in a room at the studio, plugged the guitar into an amp, had a room mic on the other side of the room, and then a mic acoustically on the guitar. So I played through it. I forget the chords and everything, but I played through it. And then with my pick, I was playing with the pick. I came too close to skipping a string and I hit it. So when I was doing a quick passage to, like say something like I hit that there, and it didn't sound musically very good or anything. It was just a mistake. So it's okay, just record the whole thing again, because you can't really punch in. We couldn't punch in there to fix it or nothing like that and make it sound good and clean. So I had to do it again, And I'm sweating it out at that time. I'm saying, oh my God, I don't want to mess that part up again. And thinking about not messing that part up, you would think, oh, I'm going to mess up another part. Just thinking I don't want to mess that part up.
Oh my gosh.
So I get to that part and I do the exact same thing. I hit that little glitch in the middle again. So we didn't do a third take because guaranteed that would not have been the only mess up. But that technique of I was trying to stay so close. Live, you get away with it. But on a solo recording, listening to it through headphones.
So what do they have?
We did
try
some
to edit it, or?
Pro Tools thing. We tried to flub it, fudge it. So I can hear where it's at. I can tell it's there, but maybe most people can't. And if they did, I'd say I did it on purpose. Now, I do it all the time. See, look, I do it every time, so I had to do it on purpose.
Now you have to do it in concerts and everything, right?
Yeah, live, back in the day, you can get away with stuff because nobody's recording it.
Oh, yeah.
If everything came out pretty close, it was great. But nowadays, geez, you record a lot. Record these, too. Change the attack. Subtly different. Looking for that really good note. Right, so that's just adjusting how my nail attacks it and how much flesh I get. Too bright, brittle. Nice, big, beefy note. Oop, too brittle, too thin. Right-hand technique, it's not a workshop or nothing, but I would just pluck each string X number of times. The next time, decrease it by 1 until finally you're down to 1. Or they have to work together, but they're like siblings. They don't like to work together. So you have to be very careful. So there you go. You wasted a whole nother hour with Kurt and Kelly and learningukulele.com.
What's up?
We do have an ending. It's up at
4 o'clock.
4 o'clock. Join us at 4 o'clock Eastern Daylight Time for a workshop on quote-unquote jazz chords, 4-part contemporary chords. If you know a few of your open position 7th chords, you know exactly what you need to do these more advanced chords. We're just going to take our 4 open position 7th chords that you might already know, like C7, A7, E7, and G7, and we're going to build on those.
So is this kind of like advanced beginner?
No, I would call beginner.
Beginner workshop?
If a student came to me, and my question is, what style, like, what do you want to be able to do? What style of music? If they said they wanted to play jazz, we'd start with these 4-part chords. I'm not going to subject them to not going to put the teeth back in. I'm not going to subject them to, oh, you got to learn the folk chords first. Oh, you got to do this. You got to learn the bar chords. No, you're diving into the jazz chords because that's what you want to be able to do. Triads into jazz chords. Right? If you came in, you want to be a country player. You know, we're going to start with the pentatonic scale. Blues, we're going to start with the blues scale. Rock, you know, things like that. Jazz, there's a lot of chords, but it's all based on a solid foundation of 1/7 chord and 4 different voices. That's it. That's all you need. And you're off to the races. So it's not a beginner or advanced thing. It's anybody. You'll get something out of it.
All right.
As they say in New Orleans, right? Guaranteed. Right? I don't think they say that, do they?
See, I don't know. See y'all then.
See you on the other side. All right. Again, this stuff will be on the website and the description. We'll get it up there.
Thanks for tuning in.
Yep. Thank you. Well, we have no music going out, do we? All right, that's it. See you. Get out of here.